What if you can have a rental property without actually having a property? As a matter of fact, what if you can have a rental property at a fraction of the cost? Well, that's what you can do with a covered call. What is a covered call, guys? So a covered call is an option strategy in which you technically rent out the shares that you have. So a lot of you can do this right now, right? If you have a Roth IRA, for example, and you have some money in your Roth, chances are you probably don't have 100 shares of one stock. But if you did, you can run covered calls on those shares. So you can hold the stocks long term, and then you can run covered calls on them and kind of rent them out and make some additional income. Now, if you didn't have 100 shares, but let's say you had a good amount of money in your account, let's say you have a $5,000 Roth, for example, and it's diversified. You have some in the S&P, you have some in Amazon, you have some in Tesla, whatever. It doesn't matter the stocks. You can actually sell all of it, right, and have cash, right? It's in your Roth. Since Roth doesn't get taxed, it doesn't matter how many transactions you do within it. But let's say you just sold everything, right? And now you have $5,000 cash in your Roth, uninvested. Now you can take that $5,000 cash. You can run a cash cure put if you want, which I made a video about that before, and I'll try to link it below for you guys. You can do a cash cure put to buy 100 shares. So you can make some premium while you're trying to buy the 100 shares, or you can just go out and buy 100 shares straight up, right? A good stock, with $5,000, maybe you can buy something like SoFi or AT&T or maybe even Verizon, or any one of these stocks can work. Obviously, you want to find a stock. You want to do your research and find a stock that has decent premiums. Sometimes, stocks like AT&T and Verizon, they also pay a dividend. So while you hold it, if you happen to hold it through the X dividend date, you'll get a dividend, but that's a whole nother story. But if you have the $5,000, this is what you can do. So you can actually buy 100 shares. Let's just say you went that route. You just bought the 100 shares. You didn't do the cash cure put. You just buy 100 shares. Now you have 100 shares of a stock. Let's use SoFi, for example, because it's a popular stock and they have decent premiums. You can buy 100 shares of SoFi. And now that you own the shares, you can start selling covered calls on it. So it's kind of like renting it out to a buyer, right? Somebody's buying the option. They're buying the option to control 100 shares of a stock. They don't necessarily own it unless it hits the price you select. So when you sell a covered call, what you're doing is you're selecting a price in which you're willing to sell your stock. So let's say I buy a SoFi today for $30. I can sell a covered call for $35, which means I'm willing to sell it at $35 for a profit of $5 a share. And if it doesn't hit that price, then I keep my shares and I keep a premium, the premium that the buyer will pay me to control the 100 shares. So that's the way it works. Now, if the stock actually reaches $35 by the expiration date, then I have to sell my shares. But then I'll sell it, I'll keep the premium, and I also get $5 appreciation on the stock. Now, I'm going to give you an example in a minute, but this is pretty much what a covered call is. A lot of people don't know they can do this. A lot of people don't even know they need to come up with the money for this, because if you have a Roth IRA already and it has a decent amount in there, you can do that right now. Let's say you have 10 grand in your Roth. You can sell $5,000 worth, keep 5 invested in whatever stocks you have, and then do a portion of covered calls, right? Just have one stock that has decent premiums, and you can run covered calls on that. And it's like renting out a home, right? It's like owning a house and renting it out, right? So that's the way covered calls work. So I'm going to give you an example with a graphic right now. And if you guys have any questions, just make sure you comment below, and maybe I'll make some further videos. But go also catch my video where I spoke about cash cure puts, because this strategy combined with the cash cure put strategy creates the wheel strategy, which is just something that you rinse and repeat and go over and over again, and you can collect premiums and grow your account a lot faster. So see you guys in the next one. Here's an example with a graphic. Okay, so here's an example of a covered call. We have a 30-day expiration date. we have a strike price of 110, a premium of $2.50 per share, which at 100 shares is a $250 premium. Now, let's assume price is currently at $100, right? And we want to sell this covered call. So we have 100 shares, right? And the price is currently at 100. I sell a covered call at 110. So I'm going to get $250 up front as a credit, right? You get that as a credit, that's your premium. Now, two things can happen in this scenario, right? The price can get to 110 and above. If that's the case, I will sell my 100 shares at a $10 appreciation, right? So it's $10 per share. So that's $1,000 extra plus my premium, which is $250. So I would make $1,250 in 1 month if the price ended up to be above the 110 price at expiration. Now, the second thing that can happen is the price does not get to 110 and it stays below 110 at expiration. And in that case, I'll just keep the $250 of the premium, and I also get to keep my 100 shares and repeat this process next month. And this is why I say it's like rental income, because if you're picking the right prices, the right strike price, chances are you're going to keep making premiums regardless, whether you sell your stocks or you don't. So that's pretty much what a cover call is. That's how simple I can put it. And I'll see you guys in the next one.